Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane. I'll be featuring a 1 versus 1 on Bow Lowlands with me as the Wehrmacht player and SAG 1025 as the British player in the northern half of the map. And some of you may be thinking, well, hell, why are you casting your own match? And I'm casting it because, well, I don't really have anything else, and I figured people might be more likely to send me in their replays if I did one of a game in the first place. So 1 versus 1 on the Bow Lowlands, me versus the British. Let's go. And I'm starting out with the usual Wehrmacht quarters with the pioneers building it and the others rushing off to capture the eastern half of the map, while the British running off their infantry section to secure their territory. And thing to note about the map is it's a rather lengthy one with several fronts. Depending on how you capture it, you have the bridge as a main point, you have a large point here with a large body of water on the here, you have the forest section with 2 openings, plus if you don't hold the bridge you also have to worry about that side of the map, and one could really go on. And here we have a bren carrier on the prowl seeking out pioneers for which to pounce on, and I am of course quite unsuspecting, although at the same time I do have a suspicion that he might be trying something like that, so I go for a motorbike at first possible opportunity. Now, interesting thing is of course how he seems to be fumbling around a bit and then directs his course, but ultimately results in it actually attacking my pioneers, my fort's safe. And there we go, the pioneers seeking cover behind the crates, and the Volksgrenadiers, alerted to this, immediately rushing off to aid their brethren. At the same time, here in the east, my pioneer squad seeking territory is pulled back, since I know the British are there, and I know a pioneer squad can't really set up to an infantry direction. My motorbike rushes to the rescue of my beleaguered pioneers, while the Volksgrenadiers arrive from the north as well to provide fire support. The pioneers are quickly pulled back. At the same time, after producing a second infantry section, the command truck is pulled out to seek greener pastures. The bren carrier pulls back, retreating at a faster pace than the motorbike can actually advance, curiously enough. And now the bren carrier is cornered like a wild beast. The motorbike is seeking to slay it like a hunter, as you could call it. The last death throes of the bren carrier before the light finishes off with a final salvo. Now, a good thing to do for any Wehrmacht player is to usually to salvage any munitions off any vehicle wreckage, and generally a good thing to do, which I of course failed to do so in this match. So shame on me. At the same time, you have my Volksgrenadiers with the bike trying to engage these infantry section troops, but failing to do so. And I don't really dispatch them, since crossing any body of water is generally considered to be very bad cover, meaning my Volksgrenadiers will be easier targets and take more damage to boot. So that's generally a bad move, and I ultimately pull back, since Volksgrenadiers already on their own can't really send up to an infantry section. Securing the bridge victory point, no contention there, and the British are trying to seek out and capture one of the munitions points closest to me on that small pile of dirt out in the water. Unfortunately, just try to stop this, but don't really succeed, and try to seek cover behind this shrubbery, but sadly there is no cover. I thought there was, and my Volksgrenadiers paid for my foolishness, suffering heavy casualties, and the British only seek logs in 1 man compared to my Volksgrenadiers. infantry section tries to seek over here and seize the high ground, which I of course again try to prevent, but with ill luck. At the same time, already at this point I'm having a suspicion that he's most likely going to try for a kangaroo rush, which is something most British players do. And so I figure the best counter to that is to impede the possible movement of kangaroos, and so I begin blocking off areas with tank traps. At the same time, the British player is trying to consolidate his part of the map, and more particularly his command track, by placing in a machine gun nest covering this body of water, which will make it pretty much tantamount to suicide to cross that area with infantry. At the same time, my troops are trying to dispose of this infantry section with ill luck, as it quickly pulls back, and infantry sections being much tougher than, say, a Volkswagen squad, have little trouble dispatching them and wrecks my poor motorbike, with no survivors among the crewmen. A third infantry section is then added and immediately seeks to cross the bridge and secure the bridge victory point. And we have the first of many attempts at harassing this munition point, and there will be a constant minor struggle to secure that 5-point munition, for which I can't say about his reasons for actually wanting it, but for me it was a matter of actually having some sort of buffer zone so he couldn't waltz right up to my entrance and do whatever sorts of nasty things a British player might do. British player having infantry section having run into a mine I had strategically placed continues onwards, though gravely wounded. A new motorbike having been added, and me really lacking fuel from that early harassment by the Bren carrier, since I could not gain that 10 fuel point, which also led to me gaining a third Volksgrenadier squad to somehow compensate for that. Mobilizing some force to oust the British from the bridge VP so I can regain that area and hopefully fortify further. And we see a minor counterattack by a recon section trying to retake that 5 munition point. Sniper fire taking out one Volksgrenadier, but suffering one loss. The recon section pulls up, realizing it can't fight off 7 Volksgrenadiers, despite it possibly wanting to. Our larger attack is amassed with 5 infantry section with Bren guns and a lieutenant to lead the poor bastards into the fight and keep them motivated, as British infantry during World War II were quite reluctant to do anything unless it involved digging in and drinking tea. Well, mostly. I couldn't say everybody did it, but you know the rumors. Anyhow, the motorbike managed to force back the infantry section once more, and the larger counterattack in the north has successfully taken the area, since there was actually nothing to contest it. But fresh Volksgrenadiers and Pioneers are dispatched, and a Pack 38 is ready to prevent any possible tank surprises. At the same time, my British opponents at the same time first getting a field support truck now, which I of course did not know. Launching a larger attack on the infantry section, which is gravely wounded and quickly suffers numerous casualties, despite the aid of a lieutenant, and barely manages to get out alive, much to my chagrin. The second infantry section, though also equipped with Bren guns, remains and provides plenty of firepower, causing some casualties among my troops. Although the combined firepower of my combined forces overwhelm them and force them back. At the same time, I deployed the second set of tank barriers to prevent any sort of armor movement. That's where I can then concentrate all of my armor defenses, or most of them, on this sort of area, thus enabling me to concentrate my forces instead of forcing them to have them spread up over an area, which can, on a map like Bolo Lands, be quite important, as trying to spread out can lead quite easily to a major loss, and I have lost on this map before because I got a bit too greedy and tried to hold all points. So let that be a reminder to you. Don't bite off more than you can chew. The reason I'm placing barbed wire is to help deter infantry pushes a bit. I know barbed wire isn't going to be the perfect barrier, in particular against American infantry who can cut barbed wire, but at the same time it's going to prove as a delay for them, giving me time to respond or just keep them under fire. A mortar crew has been provided to provide fire support for this area and also here, thus making it a bit harder for British infantry to make any assaults. Having decided I've cleared that area and successfully secured it, Volksgrenadiers moved in an attempt to secure some additional munitions for my